huge nerfs that did nothing. Sorcerer's Apprentice. In the case of Sorcerer's Apprentice, this card reached many different critical masses where you were able to cheat out enough spells to do extremely powerful things, such as APM Mage with Flame Waker. You'd get Sorcerer's Apprentice on the board, you'd get Flame Waker on the board, you'd play a whole bunch of cheap spells for 0, your Flame Waker would deal 2 damage, your spells will deal damage, everything on the opponent's side of the board, including their hero, would die, and voila, a card like Sorcerer's Apprentice goes on to be broken. Decks like this were such a problem in Wild, so in order to kind of deal with that without actually banning them all, they eventually decided to gut Sorcerer's Apprentice, raising its mana from 2 all the way up to 4. What actually they ended up doing was just kick the can down the road, as this card did not stay dormant for very long. With the release of the Audio Apocalypse mini set, a card, Reverberations, was released that said summon a copy of a minion. The second line of text, not really important here. This was a mage spell that would get reduced by Sorcerer's Apprentice and could be used to make another Sorcerer's Apprentice. Another card that came out in another mini set, Buy One Get One Freeze, is also a mage spell with half of the text being irrelevant that says summon a copy of a minion. So these two cards in combination with Sorcerer's Apprentice allowed you to play a deck where you would put a Sorcerer's Apprentice in play a spell for cheaper that makes a copy, which makes your other copies of those spells, that makes your Sorcerer's Apprentice more copies even cheaper, until eventually you have 4 or more Sorcerer's Apprentices on the board, and you can do just about anything with that. You've suddenly got basically every card in the game at your disposal for free. You got things like the Chalice that came out, the drink spell. You could do something like that, just a bunch of copies of those with spell damage, because not only are you making copies of Apprentice, which make your spells cheaper, you could give your Sorcerer's Apprentice spell damage with a card like Go With The Flow, and then you could copy it. So not only are you making your spells cost 0, but you also have got 4 to 8 spell damage. So you just spam whatever style of spell suits your fancy, you do it really early, and your opponent dies. And we're back to where we were years ago when they first nerfed Sorcerer's Apprentice. This card is the poster child for a huge nerf that did nothing. And so they decided they had to nerf Sorcerer's Apprentice again, completely removing it from the game this time, reading your spells cost 1, but not less than 1.